here. Can you hear me now? I think so. Let's keep that from echoing. Okay, I think it's working. Cool. Cool. Always issues with audio. Sorry about that. Been a while, so I'm gonna have to get back into the swing of things. But hopefully it's muffled. Now that's not something I know how to fix. I wonder if it's a settings issue. How about this? Does that work better? Hopefully that's not muffled. Ah, okay. I see. Wonderful. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be back. I've got some good articles, I think. And, Happy New Year. I know it's a month late, but Happy New Year. I don't know about you guys, but I've been outside freezing my tushy off, excavating a site. It's been really, really fun. Really cool to be able to excavate. In cultural resource management, you aren't always excavating. A lot of it is just survey. So it's really nice to kind of change things up. So let's go ahead and get started. Scandinavia's first farmers slaughtered the hunter-gatherer population. This is in Science Daily. Following the arrival of the first farmers in Scandinavia, 5,900 years ago, the hunter-gatherer population was wiped out within a few generations, according to a new study from Lund University in Sweden. Among others, the results, which are contrary to prevailing opinion, are based on DNA analysis of skeletons and teeth found in what is now Denmark. Isn't that the oldest story? The extensive study has been published as 4 separate articles in the journal Nature. An international research team, of which Lund University in Sweden is a member, has been able to draw new conclusions about the effects of migration on ancient populations by extracting DNA from skeletal parts and teeth of prehistoric people. Which is nice. Okay. Study shows, among other things, that there have been 2 almost total population turnovers in Denmark over the past 7,300 years. The first population change happened 5,900 years ago when a farmer population with a different origin and appearance drove out the gatherers, hunters, and fishers who have previously populated Scandinavia. Within a few generations, almost the entire hunter-gatherer population was wiped out. Was it wiped out or did it get displaced? I mean, I'm not arguing. I'm just curious, like, did they just get pushed somewhere or were they just killed off? This transition was previously been presented as peaceful. However, our study indicates the opposite. In addition to violent death, it is likely that new pathogens from livestock finished off many gatherers. Oh. Yeah. A lot of the antibiotics and stuff that we use are actually on our livestock because, believe it or not, a bunch of animals crammed into a smaller place breeds a lot of nasty bugs. 1,000 years later, about 4,850 years ago, another population change took place when people with genetic roots in Yamnaya, livestock herding people with origins in southern Russia, came to Scandinavia and wiped out the previous farmer population. Once again, this could have involved both violence and new pathogens. These big-boned people pursued a semi-nomadic life on the steppes, tamed animals, kept domestic cattle, and moved over large areas using horses and carts. The people who settled in our climes were a mix between Yamnaya and Eastern European Neolithic people. This genetic profile is dominant in today's Denmark, whereas the DNA profile of the first farmer population has been essentially erased. Interesting. This time there was also a rapid population turnover with virtually no descendants from the predecessors. We don't have as much DNA material from Sweden, but what there is points to a similar course of events. In other words, many Swedes are to a great extent also descendants of these semi-nomads, says Anne not Bridget, Nielsen, who contributed quantitative pollen data, which shows how the vegetation changed in connection with the population changes. Okay, so yeah, the vegetation would have changed with the farming, a lot more pollen from the crops and such. The results do not just overturn previous theories about amorous and peaceful meetings between groups of people. The study also provides a deepened understanding of historical migration flows and the interpretation of archaeological finds and changes in vegetation and land use found in paleoecological data. Our results help to enhance our knowledge of our heredity and our understanding of the development of certain diseases, something that in long term could be beneficial, for example, in medical research. There's always benefit in medical research, but it doesn't say whether they compared that DNA analysis to elsewhere. Like, I'm sure from the skeletal remains they're finding violent deaths, evidence of it, and I'm just curious because were they all wiped out? Were a lot wiped out and pushed elsewhere? I don't know. That's interesting though. And like I said, oldest tale. People moving around, pushing each other out, bringing each other in. Very interesting. I don't know prehistory of Scandinavia very well, but filling in those gaps. Unraveling the past, ancient ivory baton reveals surprising purpose in rope making. In a remarkable revelation, researchers from the University of Tübingen challenge the conventional view of an ancient ivory baton discovered in Germany's Hohlfels cave. Previously believed to be a mere work of art, this 37,000-year-old artifact now emerges as a sophisticated tool for crafting rope. Published in Science Advances, the study by Nicholas Conard and Verl Rotz presents a groundbreaking experiment involving a meticulously crafted replica. I wouldn't have seen this and thought, hey, that was probably used to make rope. But also, I don't make rope, so it's not something I would have thought of. There's a lot of... It's very interesting experimental archaeology because you kind of have to go into creating these tools and devices and stuff that we just don't really have in Western society, really, because of industrialization, and most people aren't sitting there having to make their own rope or make their own needles, sew their own clothes. So when it's not a skill you have to have, I don't think it's the immediate idea you think of when see something like this. Just not a skill you personally have. Back in 2015, ivory fragments surfaced in Hohlfels, showcasing signs of intricate workmanship dated to around 37,000 years ago. These pieces were attributed to the skilled hands of early modern humans, traditionally deemed artistic expressions. The ivory items took center stage in this study, challenging preconceptions. The pivotal piece, resembling a modern cricket bat with 4 holes through its flattest part, triggered curiosity. Conard and Roth hypothesized a utilitarian function, rope making. To test their theory, they meticulously replicated the baton and embarked on a journey through materials such as nettles, willow, linden, cattail, not cottontail, cattail, hemp, flax, and deer sinew. The experiment unveiled the baton's proficiency in rope creation, employing a technique akin to twining or braiding. Individual strands passed through the carved holes remained securely in place. As the strands converged, a counterpart on the opposite side deftly intertwined them, birthing a well-crafted rope. A closer inspection of the original baton divulged wear on hole edges and grooves, indicative of repetitive use. Residue analysis on the hole walls pointed towards the presence of plant materials, aligning seamlessly with the hypothesis of its role in rope fabrication. This revelation not only reshapes our understanding of ancient artifacts, but also highlights the resourcefulness and ingenuity of our ancestors. I remember reading how medieval armor can be incredibly highly skilled with the techniques used by certain armor smiths, not just generic plate armor like in RuneScape. Yeah, I enjoy watching like YouTube videos of people making armor or people making chainmail, and it's a lot of work. It like chainmail, I've tried myself. It's very meticulous and time consuming. I, for some reason, decided I wanted to make a chainmail shirt, and I got about that far. Sure, yeah, probably that wide, and then gave up because it had taken me so long, weeks, just to get that much. I mean, I was going to school at the time, so I wasn't just spending 8 hours of my day making it, but yeah. I don't know if I've seen that video. I'll have to look it up. Anyways, that's cool, making rope, and you can see these grooves. And they're all kind of swirling the same way. That one's not. All right, innovation in stone tool technology involved multiple stages at the time of modern human dispersals. Okay. A new study illuminates the cultural evolution that took place approximately 50,000 to 40,000 years ago, coinciding with the dispersals of Homo sapiens across Eurasia. The insights gleaned from their examination of stone tool technology challenge the widely held notion of a rapid cultural and technological revolution that enabled anatomically modern humans to surpass Neanderthals and other archaic humans. Instead, the research suggests a nuanced evolutionary process and unfolding gradually over an extended period, with changes occurring at various times. These findings challenge the conventional theory on the timing and nature of cultural transitions during this pivotal period in human history. A study led by researchers at the Nagoya University Museum in Japan may change how we understand the cultural evolution of Homo sapiens at the time of their dispersal across Eurasia. The researchers' insights into stone tool technology suggest that the commonly held view of a revolution in culture and technology that allowed anatomically modern humans to outcompete Neanderthals and other archaic humans was a more nuanced and complicated process of cultural evolution. The team of researchers focused on the Middle Upper Paleolithic cultural transition, an important boundary between two key phases in our evolution. The Middle Paleolithic period, 250,000 to 40,000 years ago, witnessed anatomically modern humans coexisting with Neanderthals and archaic humans existing at the same time. Culturally, anatomically, modern humans and Neanderthals had similar stone tool technology, such as making tools using levallois methods, which involved striking stones with a hammer-like tool. The Upper Paleolithic period, which was 50,000 to 12,000 years ago, is the period in which anatomically modern humans made wide geographic expansions and archaic humans went extinct. During this period, new cultural elements emerged in various realms, including tool technology, food acquisition, seafaring, and artistic expression in ornaments and cave art. Traditionally, scholars viewed the MPUP transition as an abrupt change marked by the evolutionary emergence of new cultural elements. An example is the hypothesized sudden neural mutation in Homo sapiens, which resulted in their superior cognitive abilities. This change allowed them to ultimately outcompete other archaic humans and drive the Neanderthals to extinction. However, the study challenges this paradigm. The researchers examined the productivity of stone tools with a cutting edge over a 50,000-year span that encompassed 6 cultural phases, from the late Middle Paleolithic through the Upper Paleolithic to the Epipaleolithic period. They discovered that the major increase in innovative productivity did not occur before or at the beginning of the widespread dispersal of Homo sapiens in Eurasia. Rather, it subsequently occurred after their initial dispersals, coinciding with the development of bladelet technology in the early Upper Paleolithic. This result shows a complicated process of cultural change involving multiple steps rather than a single revolution. Isn't that always how it goes? Is it like we always think, ooh, suddenly burst and all this craziness occurred at once and giant leap forwards, and that's really not how it happens, is it? It never is. According to the lead researcher, Professor Seiji Kadawaki, the cultural transition from the Middle to the Upper Paleolithic was a complex evolutionary process involving multiple aspects and changes occurring over an extended period. He said, quote, "In terms of cutting-edge productivity, Homo sapiens did not start to spread to Eurasia after a quick revolution in stone tool technology, but rather the innovation in the cutting-edge productivity occurred later, in tandem with the miniaturization of stone tools like bladelets." Okay, so people started to spread out, going more towards Eurasia, and then as they did that, their tools evolved and changed with the environments that they went to. Makes sense? I mean, if it's working, why change it? And then everybody's spreading out, everybody's having different ideas, different environments, different needs. Makes sense to me. I mean, obviously it doesn't go into exact. This might, if you want to check out the article written by Kadawaki. I do share all articles that I go over in my Discord. So if you're interested, just go to I think it's sources. It's titled sources. And at the end of every stream, I put all of the articles so that if you want to do more research, it's right there for you. What is this? Cookies. Go away, Girl Scouts. I don't want your cookies. Go away. Okay. Animal disease evidenced on the bone assemblage of a late Neolithic settlement in Greece, implications for animal management. The objective of the paper is to interpret pathologies on faunal remains in an effort to evaluate the presence of husbandry practices. Bones and bone fragments from the Neolithic site of Dispilio, Greece, those of domestic species, was further studied. The pathological cases were examined microscopically, the lesions were described, images were taken, and differential diagnosis were undertaken using published literature. Results: 77 out of the 13,026 bones and bone fragments recovered displayed pathological conditions including oral disease, joint disease, trauma, and congenital conditions. Most pathologies were found in the axial skeleton of caprines. 77 out of 13,000. That's not a lot. That's very little. What is that percentage? I don't want to do the math. And I've got a handy dandy calculator. So I'm going to do it this way because I don't need to embarrass myself with my bad math skills. Dang, that's 0.59 blah 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 percent. That's very little. Pathological conditions in caprines are possibly related to the use of overgrazed pastures and fattening of females, and castrates. These cases indicate specific husbandry practices used at the site. So the females got fat and the castrated males got fat. Significance of reconstructing husbandry practices is complex, especially in extremely old sites with fragmentary remains. This study provides one of the very few studies of a large Neolithic animal bone assemblage, providing insight into early human-animal interactions in Greece. Yes, they went through 13,000 bones and fragments studying this. That is a lot. I am jealous. The research is based on the bone material of the two later occupational phases of the site. It includes material from one site. Okay, further research. Always further research. The bone assemblage of the earlier occupation phase should be studied for a diachronic investigation of husbandry practices at the site. Investigation of pathological cases in more settlements would provide a larger database for the evaluation of husbandry practices in Neolithic Greece. They got pictures. Let's see, what is this? Okay, location in Greece, where we are. Right up in the northwest. Oh, image of the site. Very nice. Eastern sector is at the bottom right side. The western sector is immediately above it in the center. It's right here. Oh, right, I guess right there. What is this? Is a small square on the left. That's the southern sector. It's not even the most southern. Okay. Got some jaw bones. Examples of pathological cases in caprines: maxillary and mandibular molars. So right here we got the molars with coral-like roots. So I guess because it's like spanning out weirdly. Ouch. B is a mandible displaying irregular wear of P4 and M1. P is premolar and M is molar. So right here you got a lot of wear going on in comparison to the others, which they were likely chewing a lot right there, or grinding. I don't know. Animals probably suffer from that as well, grinding their teeth. C is a mandible displaying regular wear of P4 and M1 again. Huh. And D is a mandible displaying irregular wear of P4 and M1. Again. Interesting. So they were all wearing down the same teeth. What is this? Figure 4, examples of pathological cases in caprines. A is a mandible displaying a regular position of P4 rotation. Okay. So I guess rotation of this. B, mandible displaying periodontal disease in P4. Man, they're really struggling with these teeth, huh? Recession of alveolar bone. More irregular wear. C is mandible displaying antemortem loss of P4, M1, and irregular wear of M2, M3. So they lost their teeth. Alveolar bone is the hole that holds the tooth, and when you lose your tooth, it closes up, and then it will also start to kind of degrade. So if your grandparents or great-grandparents have lost their teeth, their jaw actually shrinks. It's no longer as tall, and it shrinks down, and that's because the alveolar is closed, and the whole thing just kind of recesses, and then you get the sunken cheek look. I mean, your jaw starts to move up, all kinds of stuff. It's fun. Let's see what's going on here. Figure 5, examples of pathological cases in caprines. A is a radius displaying enthesophyte on lateral bicipital tuberosity. B, a radius displaying enthesophyte on lateral bicipital tuberosity. So you got these little bone projections going on. And the radius is right here, if you're curious. So looking at their front legs. C is modern specimen of a normal proximal caprine radius. For comparison with pathological cases. So right here and right here, I guess. Humerus displaying enthesophyte on medial epicondyle. So right here, looking at their elbow, they got a little bit of a bony notch going on. Examples of pathological cases in caprines. A is an ulna displaying exostosis along diaphyses. Okay. B and D, posterior and anterior view of the proximal part of a caprine femur, displaying abnormal angulation of the neck in relation to the shaft and secondary degenerative changes consequent to altered biomechanical loading resulting in lipping around the head. New bone tissue around the neck on the intertrochanteric line and intertrochanteric crest and the trochanteric fossa. So you see how it kind of looks like it's crystallized and stuff? It started to overgrow. C and E, proximal part of a modern normal caprine femur. Tibia, F is the tibia displaying exostosis on lateral border in the middle of diaphyses. So just a little bit. And then here, C and E are nice, healthy ones. And then you can see how much it's changed. You got this lipping going on, which is not normal. Then you have this just really is overgrown, bulky, whereas this is nice and sleek. This crevice, I guess, is pretty much not even there here. Pretty overgrown right here in comparison. And then you don't really get this nice curvature as you do. You don't get the nice curvature here as you do over here. All right. Ooh, what's going on here? Examples of pathological cases in pigs. A and B mandible, occlusal, and lateral view displaying fracture near M1. Huh. In process of healing and with inflammation. Extended callus is present. New bone tissue and considerable localized bone formation. Congenital absence of P2 is also present. C and D femur. Medial view displaying transverse fracture and lesions resulting from infection in distal diaphyses, irregularity of bone, angulation, deformity, and fistulae. So, got a nice break here. And then an x-ray showing kind of degeneration and, as it said, lesions and infection. Interesting. Cool stuff. Okay, anyways. Sorry, I was getting into that. There's a lot more to read here if you're interested in the pathologies. I will go ahead and move on. Master Blacksmith's Forge unearthed. In a groundbreaking discovery, archaeologists have uncovered a sophisticated Iron Age blacksmith workshop in Oxfordshire, England. Dating back approximately 2,700 years, this find provides a rare window into the dawn of Britain's metalworking era. Look at that. The excavation led by Dig Ventures revealed the remains of a master blacksmith's forge, offering a captivating glimpse into the region's ancient craftsmanship. Located near Whittingham Clumps, a renowned landmark, this workshop was active during the early stages of Britain's Iron Age, a period marked by the introduction of ironworking techniques from Southern Europe. Significance of... Go away. Go away. Go away. Okay. What sets this find apart is the level of craftsmanship exhibited by the master blacksmith. Contrary to an ordinary village blacksmith, this workshop showcases the work of an exceptionally skilled artisan, possibly producing large or high-end items. The excavation revealed evidence of sophisticated forging equipment and remnants of metalwork, shedding light on the meticulous craftsmanship of the era. Unprecedented discoveries. Among the treasures unearthed is a remarkably intact tuyere, a rare find in European archaeology. This essential tool, used to blow air into the hearth, offers insights into the scale of operations within the workshop. The discovery hints at the production of substantial artifacts such as swords and cartwheels, indicating a high level of expertise and specialization. Okay. Suggesting that it produced large. So this thing blew air into the hearth. How? The excavation at Whittingham Clumps has yielded a treasure trove of ancient artifacts, including Iron Age buildings and even remnants of a Roman villa. These discoveries provide a comprehensive narrative of human habitation and technological evolution, spanning centuries, enriching our understanding. Not much detail. I don't see... Sometimes on this website they have the source. I don't see it here. Where? Sad. Might have gotten more detail. No, I don't want to accept manage preferences. Off, off, off. Reject. An ancient tree's oddball shape is revealed by an extraordinary fossil. Many fossilized trees consist of only the trunk, but a specimen from Canada includes most of the crown of leaves. That's what the tree looked like. It looks like a Lego piece. 350 million years ago, had a slender trunk topped by a crown of long leaves. Yes, it is pretty kooky. Go away. Ah, no! Paywall. I'm not paying 30 bucks. But yeah, so I guess that's what it looked like, and it's from 350 million years ago. Sanfordiacalis densifolia. I bet it probably looked a little differently. Their artistic rendering makes it look plastic. Why? Go away, go away. Disability and care in Western Europe during medieval times, a bioarchaeological perspective. So let's just read the abstract. This special issue has its foundation in presentations delivered in the Symposium Disability and Care in blah 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 blah. That is a long title. Comprises 12 papers, all relevant to aspects of pathology, experience, and or care provision in Western Europe during the early to late Middle Ages. They had poor graphics back then. I'm sure they did. So so this is just a cover of a symposium. Well, case studies. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one because I don't want to go over a whole symposium. Next, Thailand's Iron Age log coffin culture. A mortuary practice known as log coffin culture characterizes the Iron Age of Highland Pangmafa in northwestern Thailand. Between 2,300 and 1,000 years ago, individuals were buried in large wooden coffins on stilts, mostly found in caves and rock shelters. An international team of researchers from Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Germany and the Prehistoric Population and Cultural Dynamics in Bangkok has now analyzed DNA from 33 buried individuals from 5 log coffin sites and found fascinating new connections between individuals from the same and different sites. The associated people seem to have been a large, well-connected community where genetic relatedness played a significant role in mortuary ritual. Deciduous and evergreen forests dominate the limestone karst formations of the northwestern highlands of Thailand. A vast number of caves and rock shelters intersperse in the mountains. In over 40 such caves in Mai Hong Son province, large wooden coffins mounted on stilts dating between 2,300 and 1,000 years ago can be found. During the Iron Age period, each of these up to several meter long coffins were crafted from a single teak tree, and features refined carvings of geometric, animal, or human-like shapes at the handles of both ends. Do you have a picture? I want to see these. Does the journal have a picture? Figures? Nope. Nope. I just want a picture of the coffins. Nope. Okay. where was I? To understand the genetic profile of the log coffin associated communities and the connection of individuals buried in different caves, an interdisciplinary team of researchers from Germany and Thailand has analyzed the DNA of the 33 individuals from 5 different sites. DNA preservation conditions in tropical regions are challenging and limit ancient population genetic studies from Southeast Asia. Most studies were limited to single individuals or small groups representing a country and period, and identifying only broad patterns such as genetic mixtures of farmers from the Yangtze River Valley in southern China with the local, Hobinhian hunter-gatherer associated gene pool during the pre-Neolithic. The current study identifies 2 separate farmer-associated ancestries in the log coffin-associated individuals, one connected to the Yangtze River Valley and another to the Yellow River Valley in China, while previously published individuals from Myanmar, Laos, and Vietnam also carry the Yellow River-related ancestry. It was absent in Bronze and Iron Age individuals from Ban Chiang in northeastern Thailand. Okay, these genetic differences mirror cultural differences between the 2 regions, such as mortuary practices and diet, and point towards separate influence spheres and connections to separate initial migration routes during the Neolithic period. Our results contribute to the emerging picture of a complex genetic landscape in post-Neolithic mainland Southeast Asia. However, this study provides successful genetic results from samples in limestone caves from the northwestern highlands of Thailand. Future studies of samples retrieved from open-air archaeological sites in the lowlands seem promising. If possible, they can provide additional insight into genetic history of mainland Southeast Asia. Okay. Detailed analysis of uniparental markers, which can reveal sex-specific demographic histories of log coffin-associated groups, will be provided in a forthcoming study. On the local scale, the study provided the first community-level analysis in Southeast Asian archaeology to investigate the relations between individuals. The authors used genetic regions that are identical in 2 individuals because they were inherited from a common ancestor. The analysis of so-called IBD blocks, which is identical by descent, helps tracing complex biological relatedness patterns within a site and across regions, and had so far not been applied in archaeogenetic studies of Southeast Asia. The study identified those close genetic relatives buried in the same cave systems, such as parents and children or grandparents and grandchildren. This cluster of closely related individuals was more distantly connected to all other individuals buried at the site. Okay. While this suggests a selection of burial practice under consideration of genetic relatedness, the more distant genetic relationships between log coffin sites, a low level of as well as high mitochondrial and low genome-wide diversity. I can speak. I know how to say these words, suggests that the log coffin associated groups were rather large and constantly connected to each other across different river valleys. This result is highly significant since wooden coffins were also used in other archaeological cultures all over Southeast Asia. Comparing relatedness patterns and cross-regional genetic connections would be a fascinating future collaborative project which could potentially explain the cultural dynamics and population interactions within Southeast Asian and other regions. Okay. That's cool. So they were intermingling with each other across big areas. I guess they were probably keeping pretty good tabs on family and ancestry then. Where am I? What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's already 6:50. Neanderthal tuberculosis, clues to a prehistoric disease. The mysteries. What is this? Keep reading with a 7-day free. Oh no! When did anthropology.net do this? I don't like it. Ah! So I can't read this one apparently. Uh, Mysteries of Neanderthal life grow deeper as new research uncovers evidence of TB in these ancient hominins. Examining skeletal remains from Hungary, scientists reveal insights into the health challenges faced by our prehistoric cousins and the potential role of disease in their demise. That's all we get. Sorry, guys. Maybe I should unsubscribe. Or not, I'm not subscribed, but unlink it. Because I use an RSS feed to kind of bring all of these together. And I guess Anthropology.net is forcing me to subscribe. And I don't want to pay. Especially since a lot of times their articles are poorly written. No offense to those. But this one I can read? Okay. My eye is itchy. Alright. Modern humans and Neanderthals coexisted in northern Europe 45,000 years ago. Okay, is there new knowledge here? What's going on? Genetic analysis of bone fragments from a German site challenges the narrative of Homo sapiens' late arrival in northern Europe. Their papers in Nature Ecology and Evolution summarize findings at the Ranis site and showcases Stone Age cultures that predates previous estimates, shedding light on the coexistence of modern humans and Neanderthals. In the recent excavations at Ranis, a fragment of human bone was discovered. Alina Zavala, a postdoctoral fellow at UC Berkeley, meticulously examined the DNA extracted from multiple bone fragments found at Ranis, revealing that a substantial number belonged to Homo sapiens or modern human ancestors. Stone blades known as leaf points from the Lincolnbian, Ranisian, Gersmanowician culture? That is a long name. Once attributed to Neanderthals are now confirmed as Homo sapiens craftsmanship. Why was it attributed to Neanderthals previously? This challenges prior assumptions that the range and capabilities of early Homo sapiens, pushing back their presence in Europe. Genetic insights, maternal relatives linking past and present. Mitochondrial DNA analysis, conducted meticulously on hominid bone fragments, connects ancient individuals from the Ranis site to modern counterparts. Shared mitochondrial DNA sequences suggest familial relations among the individuals, providing a glimpse into the intricate social dynamics of early Homo sapiens. Okay. The Rainy cites environmental clues, including traces of reindeer, cave bear, and woolly rhinoceros bones, reveal challenging climatic conditions. This challenges previous notions, showing that early Homo sapiens demonstrated remarkable adaptability to harsh environments, contrary to early assumptions. What early assumptions? Pretty sure, like, that's like agreed upon that Homo sapiens are very adaptable, and that's how we have survived so long and in such various environments across the globe. Radiocarbon dating of bones unveils sporadic human occupation as early as 47,500 years ago, revolutionizing our understanding of settlement patterns in Europe. Renice, once seen as Neanderthal site, emerges as a critical piece in the puzzle of human evolution. Why was it seen as a Neanderthal site? So a lot of times we find that, say we have a cave, one layer could be Homo sapiens, and then some time passes, another layer could be Neanderthals, some time passes, another layer is Homo sapiens. So people kept coming in and out and in and out and changing out because it was a nice cave. And why waste a nice cave when people who were different stayed there 100 years ago? I don't know. And then just a side note, I know that radiocarbon dating kind of starts to get a little iffy around 45, 50,000 years ago. It's just not it starts to get a little iffy on how reliable it is. The findings at Renice prompt a reevaluation of settlement histories, technological capabilities, and social dynamics of early sea. This discovery opens new avenues for understanding the complexities of human migration and interaction in prehistoric Europe. Intrigued anthropologists, archaeologists, and geneticists now have a richer tapestry of human history to explore, where Neanderthals and Homo sapiens shared a chapter in our ancient saga. Cool stuff. Humans were there. Woo! All right, one more. It is 6:58, so we will do one more and move on. Ah, yes. Feces. DNA from preserved feces reveals ancient Japanese gut environment. DNA from ancient feces can offer archaeologists new clues about the life and health of Japanese people who lived thousands of years ago, according to a study published January 24th, 2024. In the open access journal PLOS ONE by Luca Nishimura and Inoue from the National Institute of Genetics at the University of Tokyo. Fossilized feces, also known as coprolites, can preserve an array of genetic material from the digestive tracts of ancient people. This includes the DNA of the microbes and viruses that lived in their digestive system, all of which could help archaeologists understand more details about their culture and lifestyle. In this study, researchers analyzed the genetic traces left behind in 4 coprolites collected at Japan Torihama Shell Mound Archaeological Site to assess what details of the ancient people's lives could be ascertained from these samples. The fecal samples were between 5,500 and 7,000 years old, dating back to the island chain's early Jomon period. Oh, the Jomon pottery is interesting. It's completely unique. A lot of work went into that. The researchers collectively sampled all of the genetic material from the coprolites and compared the DNA they found with known genetic sequences. Within the fecal samples, they found DNA fragments of the viruses which are homology with human beta herpes virus 5 and human adenovirus F. DNA breaks down over time, so the genomes represented in the coprolites were often highly fragmented. But despite this degradation, the researchers were still able to assess what kinds of microbes and viruses may have been present in people's digestive systems thousands of years. You are repeating yourself. In addition, the author suggests that the coprolites preservation of both viral and bacterial genetic material could help science. Okay, I just want to know what you found. Not that, hey, this could give us this information. I know it could give us this information. I want to know what information you got. Save select preferences close. Yes. Yep. Determine gut environment of ancient peoples. We know this. Their genomic information should be helpful in elucidating the interaction between hosts and microbes for thousands of years, as well as characterizing the dietary behaviors of ancient people. We performed shotgun metagenomic sequencing on 4 coprolites excavated from the Shell Mound site in Japanese archipelago. The coprolites were found in the layers. After shotgun sequencing, we found that a significant number of reads showed homology with known gut microviruses and food genomes typically found in the feces of modern humans. So, your gut microbiome varies depending on what you eat drastically, and I know that the microbiome of, say, Americans versus UK counterparts can be quite different, and then industrialized people's gut microbiome is vastly different than known hunter-gatherer groups of today. So they say modern humans, but I'm curious what modern humans. Are they just comparing to modern Japanese? We detected reads derived from several types of phages and their host bacterial, simultaneously suggesting the coexistence of viruses and their hosts. The food genomes provide biological evidence for the dietary behavior of the Jomon people. Consistent with previous archaeological findings, these results indicate that ancient genomic analysis of coprolites is useful. Yeah, we know that. I want to know what you found. Sampling, data pre-processing, viral search, detection of viral host genomes and food remnants. Okay. Okay. Let me give you one little thing on the Jomon people. I mentioned their pottery because it's very interesting. I will show you the very one that I am thinking of, which is this one. Let's see, where is it? Where am I? I did not make it through everything. I never do. I try and I never do. Okay. So this pottery is Jomon pottery. This is the very picture that I saw in like a textbook. It's just intricate and unique. Very interesting for them to have been making pottery like this. Very interesting indeed. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have for today. That was the hour. And let's see. All of these sources will be in my Discord. You're welcome to join me. I usually post memes there. Occasionally people talk. It's been a little dead lately, but I also haven't been streaming, so that's probably why. Anything else? Follow me on Twitter. There's actually a pretty active archaeological community on Twitter, which is nice. And yeah, that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you next time. Bye.